It just kind of hit me because I'm an introvert. You're an introvert. I have, like, you meet so many people in jiu-jitsu who you know are introverts, but this is the one place that they're like themselves out in public.
Yeah.
And I think that it's cool that jiu-jitsu brings that out of a lot of people.
Well, DJ, we are back, man. How's it feel? You're back from home, Texas. Did you have a good holiday?
It was cool. My brother got married.
Okay.
I went and enrolled at my family school back home. That shit was pretty fun. That shit was fun.
3 crosses, right? That is crosses?
3 crosses jiu-jitsu, yeah. Okay.
Shout out to your homie. It was your brother Steve, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve and his new wife.
Alyssa.
I hear you guys have some really good news too. So pada bins.
Yeah, it was all good. And then I know you went and visited family. Yeah.
Yeah, my lady, her family put on things. We haven't been here. We're always traveling, so we went to spend time with her family. So it was nice. You know, good times. Nephews, kids, all that fun stuff.
It's crazy to see how like big people get after you haven't seen them in a while, or like how much they grow up. Wow.
No, big facts. And I think it's fun watching the little ones grow. And, me, I'm just like, you're big enough so I can put you in jiu-jitsu, kid. Like, let's do some jiu-jitsu. I imagine the parents wouldn't let me do that, but fingers crossed.
You know what's funny? Like, if I ever have them, that's my plan.
Big facts.
Like, how old are you? 3 months? I think you're ready.
All right, so today, let's talk about a few things. We want to do something different where we make these episodes a little bit more structured and we have some conversation topics. So I think the first one today, I want to ask you, what do you think? What makes a good training partner?
There's a lot of things that go into being a good training partner because one, not everyone's meant for each other. Mm-hmm. Most importantly, I think you guys should be friends on like you don't have to hang out outside of like jiu-jitsu or anything like that, but you guys should have a good relationship, a good dynamic, because that's someone you're going to be rolling with a lot.
Okay.
And if you guys don't have that good dynamic, things can get chippy. On top of that, I think a good training partner is someone that is either willing to go as far as you, like someone who pushes you pretty much. Okay. You don't want like someone who just rolls over and like flops. And then you also want someone who is going to give you feedback, trade knowledge. That change of knowledge is so big.
Okay. Do you ever, I know for me, I feel like when I'm giving knowledge, I never want to seem like I'm coming from a place of I know everything or I know more than you or like that. Do you think that do you think there's a way to approach that to where it doesn't come off like that?
That's what I mean by like, you got to be friends. Like if it's just someone that you're like you tend to listen to people that you're close to or you respect more than someone, and it doesn't matter the belt rank. It can be a white belt or pearl. Like you guys can be the same belt.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't have that friendly dynamic, that I'm trying to help you learn dynamic, they're always gonna like, depending on the person, they're gonna take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Yeah. But that again, so important, that exchange, because that's where you're like pinpointing. Your partner is the one you roll with most. So they're the ones pinpointing your strengths and weaknesses.
It's something I have written down here. Someone who is looking for your mistakes. And I think it is important, like you said, to be friends. So when those mistakes are pointed out, you don't take it as, personal as it may be taken out.
Yeah, like especially like, I don't know, like we talk about it often, like the leaving the ego at the door is so important for that reason alone. Yeah. Like just because I'm a purple belt does not mean I'm not listening to what a blue belt's telling me about my technique, because he understands his body. Yeah. And eventually I'm going to roll with someone of that body type again, and they may do something that can remind me of what he told me. Like collectively, jiu-jitsu is supposed to be utilized at every belt. You're supposed to still be collecting knowledge, so you can't just say, I can only learn from the professor, because that's not true. Yeah.
Yeah. I was training this morning with a white belt, and I think that's honestly where I got this idea from. I was like, what makes a good training partner? Because he was doing that thing that white belts like to do where, you know, you're trying to do an arm bar drill, you're trying to do a hip bump sweep drill, and they're just posturing up. And they're sitting on their toes. They're not sitting down on their butt with their legs crossed, right? Mm-hmm. And so it makes it so much harder for you as a training partner to even execute the move or even show them properly how to do it, because they don't even understand the concept that, hey, yeah, you're sitting down, but I need you to sit down on your butt, right? Like, yeah, there's a time for that position, but in this specific scenario, I need you to sit down.
Yeah, like, and that's another thing about a good, so there's so many like aspects that make you a good training partner. Like, you have to be willing to take the constructive criticism to grow the competence in every part of jiu-jitsu, whether it be rolling, whether it be positioning yourself right for your partner to get the good drill. Yeah. Because if you position yourself half-ass, are you really getting the rep?
Yeah.
You know? So you're hitting the nail on the head with that one, especially because like, I'm super annoyed if I go and I'm excited to train and the partner I'm stuck with that, like, or if my favorite partner's not there, the partner I'm stuck with that day is kind of like half-assing it. It takes away from what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I think that goes into saying, like, I think a good training partner shouldn't have a it, so to say. You know what I mean? I think they should be there when you show up. I think it's important to remember that, like, jiu-jitsu is a community sport. It's not really just about you and how far and how fast you progress. It's about the team as well. It's about your teammates getting better. It's about you getting better. And if you're not able to be a good partner, how is that going to happen?
Yeah, so, you know, I've really only been here for like a year now at this point.
Okay.
Any city I've ever gone to or like trained in, I have checked out multiple schools for that reason, for that reason alone. Because like you can't go to a team or a school that's just like they don't have no structure. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I complain about the workouts and stuff at A-side, that's kind of one of the main reasons I'm there is because on top of technique, I'm getting cardio, and that cardio that hour long class every 3 days is building camaraderie, and everyone has that same mentality to where they're like, on the days they don't want to come to class, they come to class because they know their training partner has a tournament coming up and they're trying to help them. And like, they've built that so much at A-side to where like that's where the real work comes in, because everyone's able to like pinpoint because they've all been trained together. Yeah, you know. So like jumping schools and like finding like a school where you know you can find a good training partner is key. Yeah.
You're a good training partner. No, I enjoy training with you. You know, someone who, Trevor's been, not the one that was on the show, but the other Trevor.
Okay.
The homie from back home.
Okay. Yeah.
Him and I, like the other day, I wasn't going to come to class, and he was like, hey, I'm coming at 11 a.m. I was like, all right, I'm there, because I know he's training for that competition, so.
Oh, he's competing?
Yeah, he's competing in December, so.
I'm actually excited for that one, because I've rolled with him a few times, and it's never like gotten too far. But I know he knows what the fuck's going on. Like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. So I think he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do pretty well.
I think he's gonna do really well. I think he has a really, to me, I think it's solid guard and solid guard recovery, and it makes it really hard to even get past his guard. Even like from half guard, I feel like I have a solid way to pass from half guard, and he makes it very complicated.
Yeah, like so I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, he is impossible to pin down. Cuz they're like, if I don't get that like backside gi grip on him and like to keep his back flat, it's really not happening, because like you said, he does recover his space very well, and he's like, I don't know if he works out outside of jiu-jitsu, but he's a very in shape dude.
Yeah, his legs are super strong. I think he ran track back in high school, so maybe that's what it is.
That makes sense, because he never. If that's the case,
no, he ran cross country.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, he ran cross country. He
never stops moving.
He never stopped moving. That's why it's late. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll pin him down eventually. Yeah, man. And then, so to like keep on like the training partner thing, like, I think it's crazy when people don't realize that you're trying to help them.
Yeah.
Like I try and be a good training partner just because everyone I'm training with, I want them to get what they want out of the sport because I love jiu-jitsu. I want it to grow. So if I like give them like hints that I've learned or that I've picked up or like what I feel the reason it didn't work on me and they take it as like disrespect, I'm like, bro, like what? Like how else do you want to just keep doing the same thing wrong to where it's going to hold you back or like, so it's just kind of, sometimes it makes me not want to like help.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And I struggle with that myself. It's a little bit easier when it's like white belts. It's like, I just white belt, you don't get it. But like when it's like blue belts that, no shade or anything, but you have them beat. You know that maybe you're in a role and they're not engaging because they know you can beat them. And it's like, bro, like work your game, like test your belt. It's okay. I'm not going to submit you. I'm not even trying to submit you. I'm trying to figure out how to control and keep you pinned and, tied down. I don't need to submit you.
Yeah, I think it's important to like if you know that you're that, like if you know that you just have more knowledge than a person and that you can execute better, whether it be because of time, injuries, or like whatever, I think it's important that you kind of like let them have their like work all the way through their progression, even though you can like reverse it. I think it's important to like let them work through their progression because chaining that together in a live role is what's going to build the confidence for them to try and hit it in a tournament.
Go ahead. No. So would you say it's important to ask your training partner, what they're working on? Because I feel like I ask this question because I feel like I ask people, hey, what are you working on? Or what can I do better as a training partner for you? And it's a lot of times it's crickets. Like, oh, I don't know. It's like.
Yeah. So what I will say is not everyone, like there's definitely those people in jiu-jitsu who think like that. There's definitely some people out there like that. But not everyone does right away. They do eventually, but they have to come to it at their own time. Because I won't lie, at first, I was just collecting moves, just collecting everything that I could. I'd practice them. Sometimes I'd get good at certain things that I liked more than others, but I didn't have a real sequence that I was trying to hit. And like, even now I have like a sequence, but I don't have like a perfected sequence to where I'm like, oh, this is what I'm going to hit all the time. Yeah. A lot of it's just kind of acting on instinct and relying on like athleticism and the knowledge I've built. Okay. So it's really important to like, especially like if you're a higher belt or like you're like the more skilled of the partners, to let them hit these sequences. And then next time they go, give them a different alteration so they have to adjust. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get exactly what you're saying. So it sounds like you hold yourself accountable then.
Yeah, because especially like I don't like we've talked about it. Most gyms, the professor has to be like, he's a safe role. I know he's a big guy. Don't be scared. But the people who come to me as their training partner, I take it as me giving them the best version of a training partner and helping them like progress their game and what they're trying to do, as like me saying thank you. Just because if I didn't have these people that were willing to be my training partner and these schools of like people that are willing to roll with me, I wouldn't have progressed anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Not everyone's like you, man.
What do you mean?
You right away were like, hey man, save me a roll. Most people are like, okay, well, I have to.
I mean, that comes down to that accountability. And I think, we've talked about this. The man who practices, 1,000 punch one time versus the man who practices 1,000 punch. Bruce Lee said it best. And when I look at my overall martial arts philosophy, I do take a lot of what he said into consideration. You know, even with jiu-jitsu, with martial arts, fighting, take what's useful, discard what's not. I do that with my techniques all the time. Yeah. All the time.
Oh, when you say discard, are you like just completely like, no, like...
No, I'm not discarding them, but I feel like there are things that work better for my body type, that work better for my game. I play a very, like, I guess more, I would say more cerebral kind of game, whereas I'm reading everything about you. I'm reading your body language. I'm reading your breath. I'm seeing where you're gassing out. I'm seeing where you're pushing. I'm seeing where, you know, outside of competition in the training room and like, you know, A side, I'm seeing, quote unquote, where you might break, if that's the right word. It's like, where are you going to give up on yourself? Oh, you gave up there. Oh, okay. So this is really tough for you. So you're going to keep going for that grip. You don't recognize that I have another grip and I just submitted you. So I'm paying attention to all those things when I roll with people.
Okay. Yeah. And like, and that's what I mean. Like, so that thought process in jiu-jitsu, it comes with time for a lot of people, and some people it's sooner. But those are the people that are pointing out like, hey man, like whenever you went for your cross collar pressure pass, like you did X, Y, and Z wrong, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm never taking that as disrespect. Okay. Because like you felt the pass, man. You can tell I've been working on that pass for a long time. Yeah. But there's certain people who have adjusted, like whether it's where I'm gripping, how I'm getting the grip. There's certain people who have given me these tips and tricks over time, and I'm just cramming them together to perfect it as much as I can for my body type.
That makes sense.
You know, so training partners, important.
I guess to recap that whole section, I guess, you know, accountability, leaving ego at the door, becoming friends with your teammates, and that's a little bit, I guess, easier said than done.
I'm kind of reserved, so it takes a while. Yeah. Like I come into most gyms and I'm just there until they speak to me. Okay. So that's kind of the one I struggle with, but I promise I'm not here to hurt nobody, smash on nobody, or anything like that.
I'm the same way. I move around a lot when I was a kid, so just if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I read energies, and if you got good energy, I'm about you. If you don't have good energy, look, no shade. You stay in your corner, I'm stay in my corner, and we'll bang when we bang. You know.
You want to know what's awesome about jiu-jitsu? Mm-hmm. It's one of like, it just kind of hit me because I'm an introvert. You're an introvert. You meet so many people in jiu-jitsu who you know are introverts, but this is the one place that they're like themselves out in public. Yeah. And I think that it's cool that jiu-jitsu brings that out of a lot of people.
Well, I guess that I can ask this question then. Why do you think jiu-jitsu touches so many people? Like, why do you think it resonates with so many people universally? Because we have, you know, stoners, police officers, all across the board. Go ahead.
I think it's the same thing for because every martial arts has its cult following, you know. Everyone, like boxers swear by boxing, you know. And I think it's the same for each martial arts. It's hard to hide when you've been like stripped bare bones. Mm-hmm. And like whenever you're across from someone who's better than you at whatever martial art you're doing, you feel, for lack of a better term, naked. Like you feel like there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can hide. And these people are seeing you at your low points, like when you're getting thrown onto the mat and you got to get back up, when you're tapping and you have to like roll over and look at them like, hey man, good shit. But like, how did that happen? Why did that happen? You're so used to being vulnerable to where it's just a place that you become comfortable in being yourself. And I think that a lot of people look for that. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, I feel like there's a human need to go through struggle. And I think that martial arts brings you to both of those doorsteps.
Okay. Well said, bro. I don't know what else to say off of that.
Oh, yeah, you know. Drop some Aristotle touch. Oh, man. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
I've always like not necessarily gym rating. You know what I mean? I don't want to go in and like challenge somebody but why do you think gyms don't do like get together and be like, hey, this Saturday let's link up at your gym or my gym and just have like a quick little tournament simulation in order to just kind of get people ready, like get their competitors ready for what to expect in these situations.
My gym's down in Long Beach, Los Al area. They linked up. They're all affiliated. I don't think they do actual in-house tournaments, which I think would be really freaking cool because I think kind of what you're getting at, it helps prepare, especially the competitors, to give them like not only a different look, but like almost what it would be like in a real situation, in a real what it would
give them like an in-game situation.
Yeah,
like
it gives them a simulated, battle. And I think that's where I grow the most. When I go to other gyms and I put myself in a situation, oh, what do you have? What are you going to do? Oh, you got that? Oh, you're doing that? No, okay, I understand it. Oh, I've never seen that before. Ooh, I gotta watch out for that one. I didn't even know you could do that one.
That and like, I think it would help people stay in jiu-jitsu longer is by like doing stuff like that. Just because I think some people will build a game they're really good at and just get to a point where they're dominating with that and they never make themselves vulnerable again and learn a new game.
Yeah.
So I think that going to these different gyms and having these different gyms come to you to train would initially make people start to change their game because they can't get comfortable just rolling with the same people every day.
Yeah.
Like your training partner is important. Your training partner knows you, but at the same time, your training partner knows you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having these people from different gyms come in and showing how like in a tournament style, they'd stop your game will force people to kind of remain interested in it because that way, and people will probably start competing more too.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like the fear of what a tournament is what keeps people away from tournaments.
100%.
So if you have a simulated tournament where everyone can come and everyone can do it and there's no real pressure, it's just a bunch of jiu-jitsu practitioners in the gym, that comfortability will grow.
Will grow, yeah. I think Gracie Humaita does something like that where they kind of have in-house tournaments.
I think they had something. I've seen like these random like little small tournaments that I've wanted to do where there's like 5 people and like they have to weigh below a certain point, like a certain amount, and then like you line up your
like the quintet that we were talking about with Trevor. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that, and then I know there was a tournament for a while. I don't know if they still do it. It was like the baddest blue belt or something like that.
Okay.
Where they put these blue belts up on a stage and they like roll it out, and it's EBI rules.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
And EBI is submission only. And then like overtime started in compromised position, armbar or back.
Armbar or back, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about situational training? I want to do it more. I loaded you with a question with already an answer of what I wanted to talk about. That was just like, how do you feel, dude? Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I like situational training. When I first started jiu-jitsu, it was back all day. I didn't do any other position. It was just working from my back, which that's the thing I get the most compliments on is like, oh, you're back. Like when you're always tucked, you always know where it's at. And it's like, yeah, it's because I lived there for 6 months. Yeah. It got ingrained in my head.
Situational training is what I mean by like, that's where I feel people are going to grow a lot, just because going back to the practicing 1,000 moves versus 1,000 things one time. Situational training is where you can get the live training roles of practicing that same thing 1,000 times. So whether it's like, oh, you have to practice taking the like escaping back control, so you can do the same thing every time. You know what I mean? You can work the same move and the variance and go from side to side, and it's situational, so they're not going to give it to you. So that's a perfect time to try that out. That's a perfect time to figure out what you like and then not really have to worry about the roll, because in situational training, once you're out, the submission is set or whatever, you reset, you know? Yeah. So situational training is where that practice the same move 1,000 times comes from in my head.
Okay. Do you have a philosophy for your martial arts?
I'd say no. I would say no overall for me, just because I can't say that I'm a martial artist yet. I can say I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I've like dabbled with like boxing, and I've dabbled with kickboxing, but I've never taken a full class. I've never like trained consistently, you know what I mean, to like really dive into it. But when it comes down to it, my reasons for wanting to get into martial arts is, yeah, I'm from Texas and I'm willing to like keep a gun on my property, but I'd prefer to like keep that kind of shit off my conscience. And I'd prefer to be able to protect my family on some James Bond shit rather, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of like my reason for doing martial arts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Is just to overall protect me, my lady, my mom, anyone under any of the women in my life that I feel like I would protect.
Yeah. Somebody runs up on your kingdom, you show them what's up.
Exactly.
Respect, yeah. Boxing. We're going to be going down to DG boxing soon.
Actually, I'm super excited about that, because boxing is one of the things that I've dabbled with. When I trained in Vegas, I used to link up with my homie Maki Patolo. He's a freaking monster. But he showed me how to kick. He showed me some strikes. He kicked my leg one time, and I never wanted to have any problem with him ever again in life.
That bad, huh?
I don't even think he really threw it that hard. It just like, it was enough to get the point across. Like, this is how he, like, because he's like, you're doing this, I need you to do this. And then I was like, let me see how it feels. And he did it real light, and like that was enough for me to be like, hey, yo, chill.
Yeah, my trainer AJ from Sabbath Squad did the same thing to me on my leg. He just showed me what it felt like, and I don't know why I want to do Muay Thai. I'm going to, but I don't know why.
Well, what we've been kind of talking about and what I've been struggling with, that's a big factor. That's a big factor of it. So yeah, we'll see.
I think going back to Bruce Lee, that's part of what it is for me. I grew up watching him. I grew up watching, as silly as it sounds, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all these, playing these games, and watching samurai movies and Ninja Turtles and obviously Dragon Ball Z and my, anime and stuff. And it's about, go ahead. You seem like you had something you want to say.
Well, because I wasn't about to take that Mortal Kombat slander. All those are based off of like real martial arts. They just add the like power in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's one of my like reasons for liking martial arts is Mortal Kombat. Okay. So I was like, hey, you don't say that.
Yeah, I grew up playing those things, and I wanted to do it. And I just, as a kid, I didn't think that, that I could do it. No one could show me how to do it. And I didn't have money to pay anybody. So I didn't believe I could.
I remember it. So I think my first martial art ever was kickboxing when I was like 5 or 6. And I was big, of course I was big. So like they always matched me up with older people. And one day I was there in class and they matched me up with it was like, she was like 8 or 9, but it was a girl. So I was super confident about it. And when I tell you, bro, I threw a punch and she kicked me in my armpit, and I never wanted to go back again. I never wanted to go back again, bro. And I don't remember her name. I don't remember anything, but she kept me out of martial arts for a long time.
You got your ass kicked by an 8-year-old girl, bro. Is that what you said?
I was like 5 or 6, bro, and she hit me dead in the armpit, and I felt like my arm go numb, and then like hitting all those nerves in my armpit. I was like, she's an assassin.
Speaking of women, the white belt Ray, man, she is strong, and she's gonna be good when she gets.
Bro, so I don't know if you ever talked to her before, and she like gave me a hint as why she's so strong. She's like, I grew up around horses. She fucking clotheslined me, dude, and I knew immediately. I was like, nah, no. I was like, okay, I can't let that happen again.
Bro, that was the same thing that happened to me. I think she was coming in, crashing past my guard. You know when you're rolling with someone who's newer, you kind of like whatever. So I was letting her pass my guard. She went to get the crossface, like to secure the cross. I was just my face, bro, just smack. I was done.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, anytime I see her in class, I try and tell her a little hint to cause pain. You know. I think I tried to teach her my cross collar pass once. I don't know if she uses it. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how good she gets, bro, because she's and then as she starts like figuring it out, girls are in trouble.
They're gonna be in trouble. She's gonna bang with the best of them.
Speaking of like women's jiu-jitsu, have you seen who's that girl from 10th Planet? I think she's like younger. Her name's Grace, but she is a monster. Like she was winning a lot of tournaments a few years ago, and I don't remember what happened to her.
I don't know. I couldn't.
I think they called her like the Silent Assassin.
You have to look it up. Look it up. I don't know for sure who it is. But talking about women's jiu-jitsu, what do you think as, I guess, a male teammate you can do to help a woman feel comfortable within the gym? And I want to, just so everyone's clear, we're going to get women on here to ask them their opinions on these things. But I just kind of want to hear what my man DJ has to say about, making women feel comfortable. Did you figure it out?
I found a picture, but I don't know if that's her page.
Okay.
But me personally, I don't really know my strength, so I kind of pull back whenever I'm rolling and just really focus on technique and just kind of allow them to pass, like work on their guard passing with me, and I work on my passing instead of being on top. And then on top of that, I wait for them to come to me. Of course we're like friends, but I don't ask them to roll unless they ask me to roll. And then even then, I think I told you, like, if I get stuck, I'll like look at how the girls are trying to figure it out. Yeah. Just because they pay more attention to, I find that they pay more attention to detail. Like dudes see okay, I put my hand there, I put my leg there, and then I power through, whereas girls are like focused more on like, how is he grabbing the wrist? Is it like a C grip, or is it you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're like paying attention to that stuff more in my experience.
To smaller details.
Yeah.
I picked up go ahead.
But yeah, no, that was pretty much it.
It made me think of details. I picked up a detail recently to like the hip bump sweep, which I'll have to show you later. I think it's beautiful. I think it works directly with my game. It coincides with the arm drag to take the back. So it's kind of 2 for 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I'm gonna start working on that sweep you showed me last night with the lapel.
Oh, from the half guard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start working on that a lot because I feel like I'm too big to be uncomfortable, like to not like half guard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially because like the whole point of it is to kind of get underneath, and like when I'm underneath most people, like one foot's on the ground, but the other one's not. Yeah. So I should probably figure it out.
I feel like when I'm on top of half guard, it's really hard to like stabilize with you. And so I think bottom half guard will be really solid for you. That's
honestly, I'm looking forward to it because I like I mentioned earlier, I haven't really changed my game in a while. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I think I have a decent open guard in terms of what I like to do, have a good closed guard, and like there's positions that I can attack from, but I haven't like really, like I said, knuckled down and like focused on building sequences and like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I'm gonna incorporate that and just kind of start fine tuning everything.
Do you have a favorite position right now?
So my favorite position in all of jiu-jitsu has always been the same, technical mount. like when they're kind of on their side and you're like, you know what I mean?
Gift wrap to kind of 3/4.
Yeah, because you can take your back, you can go to an arm bar, you can do so much from that position, and then like depending on how they move, if they try and roll a turtle, I'm already have a hook in. You know what I mean? So technical mount is like my favorite. Like when I'm in that position, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable here.
I do get really, I think I get too comfortable there. It's like, oh, you gonna give me that? Oh, I'm just gonna take your back, and then I'm like, oh yeah, oh wait, oh I guess I got back to my, oh you got out, shoot, guess I should practice this more.
Yeah, and then I don't know. There's a few positions I like. I kind of one time my MCL popped, so I stopped doing it as much. But body triangling people, oh yeah.
With your massive legs, bro.
Well, it goes into that paying attention. So whenever I get there, I start like focusing on your breath patterns. Because like when you breathe it, like as soon as you like breathe out all your air, I'm gonna tighten my legs a bit. Yeah. So it like limits to how much oxygen you can bring in. It's a tactic that I use to like just like if someone has like a higher cardio tank than me and I can get there, it's an even playing field because I'm gonna start like making you play a game with me is when you're taking your breath. Because if you just let me just keep catching it on your, like every time you breathe in, I'm just going to tighten and tighten and tighten.
Which is why, I don't know if you've seen my boss rooting thing. Yeah,
I did.
So I did. Bro, I can't tell you how before class, I popped that in my mouth on my drive to class. So it's like 10, 15 minutes. The whole time I'm just in that and keeping my abs tight. So I'm breathing under my abs because of people like you. I can't do it, bro.
I stopped doing it because like one time my MCL popped and it scared me. And like I got it, they said it was like a slight tear, but nothing like crazy. And I just have to like rest for a bit. Yeah. But he was pretty much like, whatever you were doing, don't do it anymore. And so I don't do it.
We're going to have to do some knee stuff. We're going to work on some knee stuff together.
Yeah, I'm with it. You know, if you wanna add that back to my game, thank you. But
so we're getting to the point where we need to wrap up here soon. We've talked a lot about promotions and going forward within our journey and how we look at getting better through accountability. Let me ask you, not that it necessarily matters. Okay. But let me ask you, what do you think it takes to be a blue belt? And also kind of what do you think it means to be a blue belt?
I feel like at white belt, you're just kind of learning to protect yourself. You're learning what works and how to survive from arm bars. And like so much is getting thrown at you, By blue belt, I think that just the overall rush of everything coming at you at once is starting to slow down. You're starting to get comfortable and set in certain guards. You're starting to figure out certain sweeps that you like. I feel by blue belt, the whole period of blue belt is like perfecting your defensive guard, like your defense and your guard. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like white and blue belt are pretty much. My bad. That's what I feel like white and blue belt are pretty much like for lack of a better term. At least in my experience, white belt, like I was just trying to survive, and I felt like every day I'm like, bro, you're throwing something new at me, and I didn't even know how to do what we did yesterday. Blue belt, everything just died down. I started understanding. I started like knowing how to flow. I started the panic of it all just kind of left. And it was for me it was like, that's whenever I started feeling comfortable on my back and feeling comfortable in certain movements and just kind of really locking down how to defend myself and how to avoid getting submitted.
Blue belt? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then overall, I think like you can't let it go to your head, but like if you make it to your blue belt and you've kind of like like gone through some time and you haven't burnt out and you haven't like quit and it's still something that you have a passion for, you're a part of you're entering an elite club, because the blue belt blues and the whole like blue belts disappear. Yeah. It's not a joke. No, it's not a joke. So like I think blue belt's a very important phase, and I think it's when a lot of people ask like, am I really about this? Yeah. Because we know a blue belt who just kind of left recently too. Yeah. You know.
And it's always sad to see a teammate go, especially when
so talented.
They're talented, and I feel like especially this specific scenario, I think it's just a situation of it. It was just a burnout, you know. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And I just feel like, you know, the travel distance to a gym is a lot. And I think when you're putting that on top of trying to be super uber successful, if you don't know yourself enough to know, hey, I need to let off this gas a little bit and refocus my energy maybe somewhere else, I feel like it becomes a struggle on the mats. And I've had to do that myself too a couple of times, mainly at white belt. White belt was one of those belts where I was always in a bad position. Part of that was, I mean, it's everyone's white belt experience, but part of that was like I put myself there. I read patterns, and the only way I'm going to read a pattern is if I'm there over and over and over again. Yeah. So I would put myself in those situations and try to figure it out. So I experienced it at white belt, especially when I was down in Rio. I was training. I was lucky because I was walking to the gym, so it was only like 10, 15 minutes away. But I was training morning, training night. I was studying in the morning. I was studying before class, before class at night. So it was a constant going there, and I had to take a second. And I was like, will I get promoted? I don't know if I get promoted blue belt. And I had to take a second. I felt like I had white belt blues, if that makes sense. Yeah. And having gone through that really put it in perspective. I was like, hey, chill out. You're going to be in a black belt. My goal is to be an elite black belt. It's not to be some garbage black belt. That's going to take time.
And I think, because I did it too, man. I think a lot of people just get so focused on like, I want to be the next belt. I want that recognition that they kind of forget like the journey. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking like, yo, what do I need to work on, or what do I need to do to be promoted? I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that. Like, I've done it before, you know? But like just wanting to just get through it, those are the people who are like that burn themselves out because they don't have not everyone has the patience to wait for that belt. Yeah. And not everyone has the discipline to realize that like getting better in jiu-jitsu is like hair growth. It's like a millimeter a month. You know? Yes. And like you may like hit some things here and there, but overall it's like a millimeter a month.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just going back to what I was saying at white belt, that struggle I was having of like, well, can I get promoted? Will they even promote me down here in Rio? Because it was very much like, I want this, I'm leaving soon. And I had to go into the zone of like I was saying, it doesn't matter. It's a journey. And then I just was like, I'm just going to study. That's all I'm going to do. Anytime I feel any sort of stress of like, oh, am I not get promoted? Because you're really looking at for that valid. I feel like I'm going to speak for myself and myself only. I was looking for that validation that I could do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And I think that's kind of, for me, that's my struggle in life. I'm always looking for validation from, I guess, an authority figure to say, hey, good job. I approve of you. Yeah. And that comes from my father wounds, right? Not having a dad and, who wanted him to come pick me up on the weekends and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think for me, it was just like, the hardest thing for me overall is like ego. Yeah. Like, especially like, I've been to some gyms where like when I was a blue belt, before I even came here, I went to some gyms and I was like I'm gonna talk with ego, forget about it. The purple belts I was going against were food, bro. They were food. Like every day that I rolled with them, I was like anything they threw at me, I felt like Goku Ultra Instinct. Like check that, pass here. Mm-hmm. Like, and it didn't matter the size at some of these places.
Yeah.
But no one was giving me my purple belt, and I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this your man's?
Yeah, like, we got like that scene in Creed. You pick him. Who's next? Who? Point him out. Let's go, bro.
Yeah, and except I wasn't getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But like I just had to step back and realize like for whatever reason I wasn't getting promoted. It was what it was, you know. But hey.
I think that's something that you touched on something there is like just because you're beating everyone, just because you're dominating your gym does not mean that you deserve to be promoted to the next level.
Yeah.
Each gym, go ahead.
And it comes down to a lot of it was like my athleticism, not necessarily my technique. Like I didn't have bad technique, but I didn't have purple belt technique.
Yeah. And you know, when I look at my game right now, I know I don't have purple belt technique. There are some things I'm like, okay, it's there. But like I said, I was kind of a jack of all trades in my white belt. And I kind of skipped some steps. Mainly arm bars was the biggest thing. We were talking about discarding things and coming back to it. Arm bars was one of those things. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like that I can't control my hips and my abs in order to like raise up to get the breakage force. I feel like every time I do that, I'm just going to rip this arm off. I don't have the muscular strength or control to perform this move. I don't get it. You got to get the arm across. It just didn't work for me. So I just was like, I ain't worried about it.
No, bro, I love arm bars just because like you've rolled with me. Like you know how I kind of like to coil up.
Yeah.
If I can get like a deep enough grip and kind of just like coil like that and like explode, I can usually get some pretty vicious arm bars off of it.
You have to show me. Go ahead.
And then like, you ever try arm straights?
Arm straights. What are those?
Like you like pin the wrist. Have you ever seen where I like pin the wrist and like try and like?
Oh, you're talking about from like a side control up top where like you pin the wrist and you just, yeah. Conceptually, I know how to do them. I understand that you have to get like right above the elbow and put your head on the arm at the same time and then come over to the top of the wrist and pin that down. It's one of those things, probably like the arm bars, that I discarded because I don't necessarily understand it yet. I know how it works in my game. I'm just not using it yet. Because right now, I am focused on arm bars, especially from close guard. I'm really dialing that in. And it's like, oh, why did I ever discard? This is like, it's so much easier, like you were saying.
So for me, I didn't necessarily I didn't move like that at first, you know? And as like my body like adapted to jiu-jitsu and me being able to like berimbolo and like do other things like maneuver wise, that's whenever arm bars kind of started coming back into play. Like I knew how to do them. It just wasn't my first choice. My first choice is like to take your back and treat you like Bart Simpson.
That was my first choice too. Like rear naked choke, lapel chokes, a bow and arrow. I'll hit you with an arm bar from the back too if you mess up.
So those are my favorite ones, bro. If you take their back and then you kind of isolate the arm and you're able to just kind of step over real smooth. Those are my favorite arm bars for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just like a satisfaction of getting an arm bar after a back take for me.
You know who gets me with it a lot is Gustavo, because I do this escape where for anytime someone takes your back, if no one doesn't know this, 2-on-1, the principle of 2-on-1 on the cuff to get it off of your lapel, it's just a powerful grip. There are disadvantages to it. The biggest one is you leave your arm exposed for an arm bar. But if you understand your body, you understand, you got to give something to get something. And if you need to get out of that deep lapel choke, you might want to risk putting your arm out there and just trust that you get it back on time.
So I know we kind of went off topic, but I want to jump back a bit.
Yeah, let's go.
My bad. So going back to that blue belt, I don't know if he listens to this. I don't know, whatever. I think he was going to be a monster, and I was really excited to train with him. But even if he doesn't become my training partner, I hope he kind of builds the passion back to go back, whether it's at another school, whether it's at A-side. I hope he does get back into jiu-jitsu because he's a cool dude, and he was going to be a bad dude, bro.
Bad. He could bang with the best of them.
Yeah, so, you know, I wish you the best, my man, and I hope you start training again. But going on to Gustavo, bro. Gustavo, I'm so mad I can't train in the mornings because Gustavo's a cold dude, and his spider guard and all of his guards, but honestly, all of his open guards, from spider guard to his transition to De La Hiva, he can honey hole to the back. He's just a freaking bad dude, and he's a great training partner. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter how big you are, and he's not a big dude. He's kind of lanky, but he's willing to turn it up with you, and he's willing to give you what you need. Like touching on everything about being a good training partner, it's him. He's someone you can sit down and be like, man, that move was nice. Like, how did you get there? What did I do wrong? And he's going to tell you step by step. He's going to tell you when you went wrong. And then on top of that, like there's a reason they made him a teacher. Yeah. He's a monster.
Yeah, no, I enjoy his classes. I try to go to his classes any chance I get. The only reason why I haven't been going to his classes recently is because Mondays are my editing days for this because I got to get it out on Monday. So I'm too busy to take away time to go to class on Mondays anymore.
I just work, man. I leave for work at like 5:30, get to work by like 6:30, and then I'm clocked in till like 5.
Yeah, that's a long day.
Yeah,
I'm up at 3. I hate it.
AM?
I go to bed at 9. My last job, I set my system up to where I was getting up at 4 a.m. because the only way I could get to jiu-jitsu is get up at 4 a.m. to have enough time to stretch and everything, get my juices, and have some time to myself before I start my long day, because it was wake up, jiu-jitsu, work for 12, 16 hours, come home, maybe get 30 minutes of like peace, rinse, wash, repeat, 6-7 days a week. So
I need to get like you, bro, because that's how I'm gonna be able to implement the gym. My bad.
You're good.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be able to implement the gym.
And that's part of the reason why I kept the schedule, is because I like to get my gym done in the morning. But it's just, I don't know. I think where my life is heading now, I think I'm more like a 6, 7 a.m. guy again, which is like, I like that vibe. So I might be staying up a little bit later.
I think I'm gonna go for like 5. I think if I get no, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, because I need like an hour in the gym.
Okay. Like when you go to the gym, do you have a specific routine you follow or that you're working
on? It's crazy because I think I hope what I'm about to say makes sense. I think because of my athletic past, I work out like a football player. Okay. Like, I'm trying to put up heavy weight. I'm trying to do it for as many reps as I can. I'm doing the 3 main ones. I'm doing explosion lifts, like whether it be like power cleans or like deadlifts, or even like taking the dumbbells and doing jump squats. And I'm doing bench and squats. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, I'm just doing like that core strength building lifting, and then like 30 minutes on the bike of cardio. So that's what I'll do. But I think I need to switch it up. I think that's why I can't like stay in the gym. Is because I'm not, like, I've been doing those for so long, I'm bored with them.
I'm going to give you some unsolicited advice. Just lift light. I feel like it helped me with jiu-jitsu as far as just higher reps. Like, don't get me wrong, I still lift heavy when it comes to like my hamstrings, my legs, and my squats and stuff. But I feel like those smaller tendons and those smaller muscles that I feel get more strained have been getting more conditioning the more I lift lighter. Because I come from that same mindset of like, let's go big, bro. Let's like
Yeah,
put
and
up weight.
Yeah, I think, and I also think like as I start dropping weight and everything, getting ready for these tournaments, my game's gonna just kind of get back to what it was whenever I felt like I was at my best.
Were you just eating what's alive?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that. But I gotta break the cycle that I've been in. That whole just fucking lounging on the mat.
Actually, I'm good on that. I'm not doing any of that.
Well, like the cardio class, I'll do my thing in there. But whenever the class starts during an instruction, I'm like chilling,
Snorlax vibes.
Yeah, I'm just like relaxing and chilling out, and I need to get out. I need to get into a different mindset. Like I got something coming up, and I think that'll help me make the switch.
Yeah, I got something coming up too. 2024 is gonna be interesting competition wise because I don't know where I'm gonna land at. So there's some competitions I want to do. Oh, yeah. Worlds, ibjjf, Worlds. That's on the list, and so that's honestly, I guess I'm training for that for whenever it is. I haven't looked into it yet, but I know it's next year.
So like we've talked a little more about like plans off camera. Like I definitely, the one I talked to you about, I don't know when you want to bring that into this, or if you even do. Whatever.
I think we'll do it at the time when it's one of those things. Yeah.
Okay, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do ibjjf because I got at least Worlds, because I have what we talk like Japan in like late August and stuff.
Bro, you're gonna love it. It's your first time out of the country, right?
If you're not counting Mexico, yeah.
Mexico. You know what's funny? So I was watching the Jackson podcast the other day, and they said something about like Tijuana, Hong Kong, and I was just like, "Oh God, if you know, you know." That shit cracked me up, bro. I think we're right about that mark. My notes, I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think we did, man. I think we did. Before we go, I think we should. Let them know we got some new stuff on the way.
Okay.
We definitely got some new stuff on the way. We're going to branch out, start recording our little training camps, getting ready to compete again. And then, I don't know, man. I think we should start setting up at the beach.
Okay.
And like not necessarily like just if we record, but I'm talking about more for some roles.
Man, there's a spot down in Long Beach that is probably the Bluff. That I showed you the video. That's
yeah.
When I was a white belt. Also, like as a white belt, if you're looking to evolve your game, buy some mats and then take them out to a park with some friends from class or some friends and like study your YouTube videos, do your homework. Don't just you're gonna learn more if you step outside the classroom a little bit.
Any belt, not just white belt.
Yeah, any belt. For sure, any belt.
Yeah.
I'm all about. Here's the thing. Andrew Huberman, he's about free access to education. And I guess that's kind of how I am in this aspect too. And jiu-jitsu is like jiu-jitsu is education.
I agree with you.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like, you do need to pay for privates. You do need to pay your schools. You do need to, pay your essentially your tuition to learn that. But just like with school, there are other resources outside of your college that you can take advantage of that can help you progress faster and a little bit further.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. Like, I feel like when you get into jiu-jitsu and people are like, "Oh, you're just learning moves online." Like, I don't like that.
Okay.
That like hate that online gets because like if you're just watching it and you're gonna try and like you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna try and replicate it later," chances are it's not really gonna work. Mm-hmm. But if you're watching it and you have mats and a dummy at home and you got that motherfucker on loop and you just look and you're replicating it there, you absolutely can add that to your like. What's the real difference,
bro? There's a choke that I learned just by watching the Instagram video that Professor posted. And like I tapped into like one other video to kind of dial it in. I figured it out, and now I can hit it on people.
That's what I mean. And you used your mat and your dummy, right?
Yeah,
exactly. You know, so the people that hate about like online jiu-jitsu, they just don't have a mat and a dummy.
Man, I need a better dummy. My dummy is so garbage.
What do you mean?
It's like I want one of the ones that like actually turtle up, like at the school, like one that turtles up. Or have you seen those robots where like you submit it and it lights up?
Look, I've seen iRobot. I don't trust that shit. I don't trust that shit, bro. When the machines take over and that motherfucker standing over your bed ready for payback, I don't want to.
So no jiu-jitsu AI for you? Would you trust that?
No.
You would never roll with a robot.
With a robot?
Yeah, like if they made a robot that was like say they could take like my brain and put in a robot and be like, hey, you got a training partner that you just you at home.
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No. I see too many red flags in that, bro.
What about your brain?
No.
It's just in general the whole AI concept.
Yeah, because he has my knowledge now, and then what if he decides to be a different person than I decide to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like on top of that, he's a robot. He don't really feel no pain like that. And then how strong is this robot? How fast is this robot?
I don't get why people are making robots out of. Can we make them out of plastic? Can we make we have strong industrial plastic? We
Just don't make them motherfuckers, bro. That's crazy. Like there's so many sci-fi movies, and then the scientists today are like, "Well, AI." Yeah, you don't watch TV, bro.
It makes no sense to me. But like you were saying, we got some changes going on. Yeah, I'm segueing off of the robots compensation. No, we do. We have some new things coming up. We're taking on a few sponsors, I think. I'm in the talks. You know, I've been trying to work on my beard for a little bit, so I'm talking with the company right now. Hopefully, you know, that'll pop off and get you guys some discounts on some beard stuff and get my mustache. I had to look like I'm like real. I'm gonna smash you. Because, you know,
I'm going to smash your boy.
I was lining up my mustache, right? And you know, you get that tickle. Like, I was like, oh, I guess it's got to go now.
So the crazy thing is my facial hair does not grow. I even asked my girlfriend to order me a derma roller the other day, and she told me no. Because she doesn't want me to have a beard because she's a hater.
Nah,
That's for you if you watch this later.
We gonna get him a beard. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you gonna like it. He'll look like Rick Ross made beards cool, and especially for bigger guys. Like I feel like it's the vibe.
I want that James Harden beard. You know, James Harden's a piece of shit, but I want the beard overall.
Why is he? You know what? We're rambling at this point. We're wrapping up. All right. So James Harden. We're moving on. Look, we have things planned for you guys, and we're going to try to make it better. Any way that you can think of, we can make better. Any comments, any topic ideas, like let us know. Shoot us email, Instagram. We own all the vibes these days.
Tickety Talk probably coming soon.
Oh, TikTok. That's my man right here because I don't want that Chinese spyware on my phone.
I'll use a different phone.
All right. That wraps us up. Thank you guys for tapping in. We're going to tap out today. And if you're not believing in yourself, believe in yourself because you can do it. And that's the message I want to send to people because that's what this is all about. Believing in yourself. That's what jiu-jitsu helps you do. Believe in yourself. I think that's the superpower of jiu-jitsu. It gives you that confidence to believe in yourself and, start to figure out who exactly you are. What?
I'll just point out, believe in yourself. Like Goku, believe in yourself.
I mean, Vegeta has his benefits too.
Not everyone can be Vegeta, Doc. Believe in yourself like Goku. And, one day you can be like Vegeta.
We'll talk about that next time. Yeah. You guys take care. Please like, subscribe, share, and we'll get you on the next one. Peace.